Thank you. The time is yours, Press Corps. Please proceed with question and answers.
All right, thank you, Padjadjaran. We're going to start the press conference immediately, but before that, let me explain several things. For all the delegates, can you please turn off your video for a moment? But only the delegates who've been asked a question could turn on their videos because we're going live on YouTube as well. So we're going to have a press conference from several of our journalists, including the journalists of BBC, South China Morning Post, and Reuters. So for the journalists of BBC, you may start.
Good morning, everyone. The BBC demand action, especially after we are used to proclaim this threat. As we all know, the United States of America has used Stuxnet to sabotage the nuclear program of Iran. So we know it is within the realm of possibility for ISIS to attack nuclear power plants in France, Europe, and even the United States of America with the same method. The question is, are there any security measures that any member states that will neutralize this threat? And if not, are there any plan for new countermeasures for any countries? And finally, will NATO adopt a universal security measure to stop this threat? Thank you.
So the question has been thrown to the floor. For any delegates who want to answer it, you may have the floor.
All right. Estonia would like to answer the BBC's question. NATO has already several mechanism for dealing with cyber threats. We have research center, and also we implement what our research to our doctrine, and also to our capabilities. However, we believe that in regard to attack on the power plant, which located primarily in the strongest NATO country, we believe that those countries already have robust cyber capabilities and also Estonia as a victim of large scale cyber attack in 2007 will be providing assistance to any countries that request assistance, and we also work closely with NATO to monitor and if it required, we will take measures against it. We also have the Cyber Operations Center, in which we will put, and also we will coordinate our responses as an organization. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, the delegations of Estonia. Are there any other delegates who want to answer the question from the BBC?
Delegate of UK would like to answer. Thank you.
You have the floor.
Thank you. Seeing that the ones who's attacked in this case scenario is BBC, none other than the media belonging to the UK, then we believe that perhaps the most appropriate actions to be taken should involve our own domestic security enforcement, in which we would, of course, swiftly deploy our own law enforcement who are an expert in cyber defenses and cybersecurity. We will ensure that we know where are the trackers, where are the perpetrators, what kind of attack do they use and utilizes, and we will ensure that these actions do not just fall off and shall be answered to justice. And secondly, seeing the case study as we have suggested before in this council, in which we would resort to the use of the deployment of a swift RRT, and also, if considered necessary and grave enough, or the deployment of kinetic forces towards this action. And we will ensure this IP tracking will be effective. And also, we would also ensure that if in any case that we cannot you cannot track their IPs, then if in any case that it does not go in appropriate timely manner, we will keep on with this investigation, and we will not let it harm our nation's sense of sovereignty nor respect in the eyes of the international community. Thank you.
Delegate of USA, please respond to BBC's question.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So for the BBC question regarding the not to respond regarding the cyber attack to the cyber attack, delegate of USA believe that USA have the cyber capabilities regarding the situation, and we can make the offensive cyber capabilities since in the ISIS situation there should be a terrorist, not a country. We are the NATO. We have the power. We have the power. We have the power. We have the cyber capabilities. We have the infrastructure regarding the situation. So I believe, so delegate of US believe that we will provide our cyber capabilities to give the countermeasure for the cyber attack. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, delegates.
Response, please.
Yes.
The delegate of Norway would like to respond.
Sure. The last delegate to respond.
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. First of all, agreeing with the UK that we should focus more on the countermeasures and also the direct responses towards the threat itself. However, at this point, the coming cybersecurity is still in the form of threat. So therefore, with these threats, we can anticipate by by enhancing our cyber attack tracking systems, and also in order for us to recover easily, and to in order for us to identify the perpetrator and whatsoever. It's we agree with the UK that we should enhance more, and we should enhance our capability to track these perpetrators, and also to take them into account, so their actions wouldn't just go to you.
All right, thank you, delegates. The next question will come from the journalist of South China Morning Post. You may have the floor.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask this question. I would just to throw this question to the floor. Do you think it is justified that ISIS is feeling severely threatened by all the things that had happened in the last hour or so, including the comment made by the president of France and the troop allegedly sent by NATO, and to the point that they feel the need to deliver a big threat, not at all hesitating to hijack and saying, and I quote, "To launch the first advanced nuclear power plant from France, and hey Trump, we will show you how great we are, death to the West." Is it justified? And may I know, for those of you who haven't spoke yet from the previous question, what next steps are you going to take, and what are you going to do in case it blows out of proportions? And UK, may I know your plans on dealing with it accordingly? Thank you.
Perhaps any other delegates who wishes to answer, who have not answered the previous question, but UK may also answer the question from the South China Morning Post, because the question is directed at her. Any countries who wishes to respond? Delegates?
Delegate of Belgium would like to respond, please, Chair.
Delegate of Belgium, is it?
Yes. Yes.
All right, please do.
Okay. First of all, we see that threats from terrorist group that is ISIS has been concern for all of us, especially European countries. Okay. The threat is maybe likely to hybrid warfare, but we're not seeing the lead of hybrid warfare just like that. We must anticipate it, and we have to see where the threats are going to, or just a threat from the ISIS group to the media, or are it going to be involved really in real world, like really going to the power plants nuclear. Belgium would like to propose, and yes,
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Delegate of Belgium. I think that Delegate of France should respond to this. Also, UK. Delegate of France, would you like to respond, please?
Yes.
Yes, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, first of all, we believe that we should differentiate between threats and also risks. In this news, we received threats, but however, threats are not something that directly expose us to dangers such as risks, right? And if we receive such threats, we cannot just like accept what they want. We cannot just agree what they propose about taking back the troops from the NATO operation in Middle East, because this is a threat. What we need to do right now, we need to strengthen our cyber defense security first. We believe that NATO has provided us with a lot of exercise and training, and France itself has invested a lot with to strengthen our cyber defense. Therefore, these kind of threats should be a motivation, and also should be something that we must really consider that cyber attacks is real. And if there is a risk that expose French directly to a danger, we believe we need to deal it domestically first. We need to take necessary action, as we need to defend ourselves, because if it's like risking our national security, we believe that we need to take the necessary action as what's necessary and what's proportionate, and also imminent to the danger itself. That's all from French. Thank you.
All right, thank you, delegates. The last one is Canada for this question.
Thank you. We believe that the improvement for NATO capabilities to deal with this threat is the intelligence. Artificial intelligence can play a key role identifying unknown attacks, as human analysts normally know enough about recurring threats to accurately detect cyber risks such as evasion technique and malware behavior. Artificial intelligence and deep learning technology is crucial to train and teach the system to make decisions and draw conclusions on new threats scenario that will be presented to it post-training. We believe that this is one of the efforts to enhance our capabilities, and we can withdraw our troops because we need them. Thank you.
All right, thank you, delegates. The next question will come from Reuters. Which one are you going to do it first? Josephine, you may have the floor.
Thank you, Chair, for the time. So I want to ask this question, especially to USA, France, and Norway. So regarding to the second crisis, the action coming from USA, France, and Norway have disadvantaged the citizens of Middle East countries. Therefore, is there any justification of your actions? And if there is casualties towards the citizen, who will be held accountable? Thank you.
Any delegates want to answer that? Delegates?
Perhaps if Reuters could repeat the question, that was not clear enough.
All right, go ahead, Reuters. You can repeat your question, please, slowly.
Thank you for the time.
My apologies.
Regarding to the second crisis, the action coming from USA, France, Norway have disadvantage the citizen of Middle East countries. Therefore, is there any justification of your actions? And if there is casualties towards the citizen, who will be held accountable? Thank you.
I believe the questions are directed at USA, France, and Norway. Are you guys not going to respond?
Yes, Norway would like to respond,
Yes.
please.
French.
Please, Norway, proceed.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Yes, we do have a justification for what we did to the Middle East, because we felt the need to because we felt that there was a growing security dilemma. We felt the need to also deploy the NATO troops in Syria, and even though at this point it's still not the troops is not has not been welcomed. However, we still the justification to our action is that we felt that our security dilemma was being there was a growing security dilemma, and we should do it in order to secure our security at first, and also to deter the upcoming threats. Thank you.
French would like to respond, if that's possible.
Yes, France, you may proceed.
Okay. Thank you so much for the Reuters, and thank you so much for Norway for justifying something that's directly to us. We believe that the troops in the Middle East is necessary, because seeing from the news that the threats are real to us, to the Western countries, especially European and also American countries, we believe that this troop necessary just for the sake of security. We believe that if we take back our troops in the Middle East, it could hamper our security. And if there is a casualties in the Middle East, and it is allegedly to us, the one that sent the troops, we believe that we need to see the bigger picture itself, whether or not that the casualty itself attack us first, or we just responding to what's happening on the ground. Because just because they are civilians doesn't mean that they're not innocent. It doesn't mean that they're innocent, because it could also means that they are seeing us as a threat, and they respond something to us. And as someone that is, and in that position, we believe on the principle of self-defense, seeing that something directly come to us. So in that case, to conclude that in the justification for the troops in Middle East, it's for the security of our nations. And if there's a casualties, we believe that we need to see the bigger picture first, whether or not that it is something that we just respond to what they are doing to us. Thank you.
Can you speak?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So regarding this question, delegate of USA would like to agree with the delegate of France that we would not pull back our troops in the Middle East, since we prevent from the ISIS and from the terrorist organization. And delegate of US believe that we need to strengthen our cyber defense capability and also cyber offense capabilities. We don't obey with these terrorists. Terrorists could be more dangerous if we don't act like a monster or some kind like that. And the delegate of US believe that to invoke the Article 5, if some country already being attacked, that all NATO members should attack back, especially for the terrorists. And once again, delegate of US would like to remind that we don't obey with these terrorists, and we should have to strengthen our cyber defense capability and our cyber offense, since we are NATO and we have the power, we have the money, we have the power again, so we can do what we want, and we can do as a team, we can do as a NATO members, and we can attack them properly. Thank you.
Okay, before we move on to the next question, the delegation of Germany asked if to respond to the question as well. You may have the floor, Germany.
Yeah, thank you. Germany believes that the troops of NATO on our operations in the Middle East can be justified because we're now currently on an operation against terrorism. And currently, what we are seeing now on the lands of Europe, of Britain and France, is an act of terrorism. And as such, NATO should be able to act against this act of terrorism by working together to strengthen our cyber capabilities. And as such, this is a new kind of a new ground for a war on terror that the US has declared upon back in 2000, back after the September 11 events of 2001. And as such, this only presents a new ground for us for this war on terror on this cyber realm. So NATO as a collective defense should be able to conduct new ways to protect itself from this cyber threat, including all threats. So it does not matter if it's a threat, if it's already an attack and it already caused casualties. We must together be able to protect ourselves even from threats. As such, Germany believes that drastic measures need to be taken after this possible attack on European soil and possible danger, it poses possible dangers to Western civilization. Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Delegate of Germany.
There's one last journalist that wants to give out the question for the journalist of Reuters by the name of Putri. You may have the floor.
Yes, thank you for the chance. I'm gonna ask. Well. Wait. So I'm gonna ask a question to the floor. Is still a reliable deterrent and sustainable after this Cold War?
Apologies, but your voice cannot be heard clearly. Sorry.
Yes, can you repeat the question?
Do you think that NATO, yes, do you think that NATO is still a real deterrent and sustainable organization after the Cold War?
So this question is thrown to the floor for the delegation. Have the delegates understand the question yet? Okay. I think for the journalist of Reuters, can you please type the question in the chat?
Can we encourage any other members of NATO to respond to these questions? Please, you are not alone in here. Everyone else is here. Please also voice your answers.
Yes, Belgium. Okay. Okay, Estonia, go ahead.
All right. The question of relevancy of NATO of the post-Cold War is it's already a hardly discussed discourse. However, Estonia believes that that after the Cold War, NATO had evolved from countries that interstate collective security in the event of interstate war has evolved into a country where we reacted to unconventional and also non-state threats. So we believe that yes, NATO is still relevant, and we and in order to be relevant, we we uh, we adapt and we also evolve, and we also explore this the new territory of security of warfare into our operation to keep up with with the progress of time. Thank you.
All right, thank you, delegate. The next to answer is the delegations of Germany.
Thank you.
And after that, Denmark.
Germany believes that NATO is still very well reliable and supposedly reliable as a deterrent and sustainable organization even after the Cold War. This is especially because NATO as a collective defense was meant to protect its member countries from various threats. And by the end of the Cold War, we have been seeing more and more kinds of threat. As we have seen today, for instance, recently we have seen ISIS as a new threat against members of NATO. As such, NATO's reliability has to be protected, has to be maintained, and we must maintain the relevance of this collective defense in the age of new threats, new wars, and new threats to its member states of NATO. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And the next to answer this question from your board of Dias, Spain, Denmark first, then Spain.
Hello, can you all hear me?
We can all hear you.
Okay. Since the fall of the Soviet Union, NATO has reinvented itself. NATO's current mission is laid out in 2010 is to help alliance remains a mutual defense pact for each member that commits to defend others against attack, including new threats such as cyber attack and or other newer threats. It also mapped out the importance of conflict management by preventing and managing conflicts and also stabilizing post-conflict situations. It is committed to working with partners around the globe to work towards a world with peace and allow European democracies to meet standards and also other countries to meet standards of its membership. It is still to this day a reliable and also a reliable pact and a reliable organization and also a sustainable one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Denmark. And next to speak is delegations of Spain. You have the floor.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. The delegation of Spain believe that right now NATO is still reliable as an organization, even though NATO is made in the Cold War era, because in NATO regulation itself, there's still several regulation and action that made in order to protect NATO members from any kind of threat that happen right now, like the cyber threat and a threat from ISIS that emerging right now. One of these regulation is collective defense. This collective defense is made to protect every country in every NATO member country that need help in order to tackle any kind of attack that happen to their country. That's why Spain believe that NATO is still reliable nowadays. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And the last to answer is the delegations of Canada. You may have the floor.
Thank you. We would like to answer the question. Yes, NATO is still a reliable, deterrent, and sustainable organization. As what Delegate of Estonia mentioned before, we adapt to all circumstances, such as the cyber defense, to keep us all safe. NATO is adapting to this new reality. For NATO, a serious cyber attack could trigger Article 5 of our founding treaty. This is our collective defense commitment, where an attack against one ally is treated as an attack against all. We have designed the cyberspace as a domain in which NATO will operate and defend itself as effectively as it does in the air, on the land, and at the sea. Thank you.
All right, thank you, delegates. Okay, we still have 1 minute left. The delegations of Latvia, you may have the floor.
Thank you. Delegates of Latvia believes that NATO was still of a great relevance. We do need NATO and we want it to become more powerful and exert its power with more confidence and fervor. The reasons, in my humble opinions, are apparent, which are the growing power of China and China's support to vagabond responsible states like North Korea and Pakistan, and all three countries prefer regime that utterly dialectoral in nature, and their idea and feelings of nationalism verge on the madness. So also Germany and Japan prior to World War II come to mind when one thinks about Iran and China and North Korea. So that's why. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our press conference for today. Thank you for all the delegates of NATO, and thank you for the Board of DICE as well. Good luck for your conference.
Thank you so much, Aya, and the rest of
Thank
press
you.